I'm Sarah Moses. I'm a junior here at VSU. I'm in the mass media major and I'm being interviewed because I'm one of the editors on the show Sumptin. So for the show Sumptin, I am the graphics editor, so I make all the, graphics for it, of course, but like the title page and the, the things that come up and go will be right back to Sumptin, and all the lower thirds for like news and for the host and stuff. So making the graphics for the show takes about 2 days, and that's just because they're already pre-made. Like when we first started the show, it took me like a good 2.5 weeks because that was just me figuring out like what I wanted to do, what the whole show was really gonna look like. Like I had to go ask every segment like what kind of theme they were going for because it needed to match and everything looked cohesive. So that took me a while because I needed to make like mock-ups of like things to see if it was gonna work. So my favorite part would be like working in the studio because I also get to do that because me and the producer and then editor for the show, we film the host. So that's actually really fun because it gives us like me more experience with like the studio cameras and the TriCaster and audio and stuff like that. I guess the show has taught me like really how to work with a team, like a big group of people, because like this is a whole class effort. So you have to really talk with everyone. Like you can't just be by yourself doing things. Like, I mean, I've worked with groups before, but it's been smaller ones. Like I think this class has 24, 22 people. It's a lot of people to work with, but I feel like at the end of the day, it's turned into something like really cool that I could be proud of. So I got into media. Well, first of all, I was actually a biology student when I first came to VSU, and that didn't really work out for me because I'm terrible at math. So I had to think of something else because there was no way I was gonna get past the biology field. So I ended up meeting someone who was in the mass media field, and they were telling me all about it because I think they were filming their capstone at the time. And it was just so interesting. I was like, wow, you get to do all this? And I already like TV shows and film and stuff. So I was like, yeah, all right, I'll check it out. And ever since my first class, I've been hooked on it. So some other things that I do for media, I actually work at the Cage here at VSU. And that's where we like give out equipment to students who need it, like for their projects and such. There I do like a bunch of like, check equipment, charge batteries, and basically show people how to use it if they don't know how and all that good stuff. Yeah, so working in the Cage has actually really helped me like get more comfortable with equipment, because before I was like really scared to even touch a camera, especially like a Sony or a Canon, because I was like, oh, I'm gonna drop it, it's gonna break. But working in the Cage and like handling the equipment every day, it's made me more comfortable, and now I know a lot more about cameras and all that kind of stuff than I thought I did. So the title for the show came about because the main story of the show, the narrative Sumptin, that's what they named it. And I remember like in one of the first meetings we had with the producer and editor, we were trying to come up with an overall show title because I was like, it can't just be nothing, or it just can't be Sumptin, because we have 2 other segments that need to get represented like in the whole show. So we were just playing around with stuff. I don't think it was actually my idea. I think it might have been Stephanie's. She's the producer. I'm not totally sure. I can't remember. But someone was just like, well, why don't we do like Sumptin and Company? And we were like, oh, that's kind of cool because like it's a company kind of thing. And then I think we shortened it because when I tried to make the graphic for it, it just wasn't looking right with Company coming in. So we just shortened it to Co. So my favorite graphic that I've done so far has probably got to be the COVID chart. At first it was actually gonna be a number counter. Like there was like a whole thing I was gonna do where it was just gonna count the numbers. Like it was really cool, but I guess no one really liked that one, which that's okay. But we ended up doing like a bar graph. I mean, there are cooler ways to do it. It's just I've never done one before, so I'm pretty proud of how it turned out, specifically because I've never done it. And there's really not a whole lot of tutorials on YouTube about how to do something like that. So it was really a trial and error basis. The only thing is it's super tedious because there's so many moving parts in it. So like the whole place where like you mess with all the keyframes and everything is like full of like, all the different text layers and stuff, and you have to move them around constantly. So most of the time I just like duplicate everything so it keeps the same keyframes. But that's probably one of the more ones that I've liked. Go Blazers!